For our audience, Maddie, can you tell us a bit about yourself and how your passion for sport began?
I don't think I ever had a choice other than to not be in sport. I come from a family that's heavy into their own sports, and pretty much as soon as we could start walking or talking at a footy or a cricket bat or whatever sort of ball we could in our hands, I don't think I was destined to do anything else other than play sport. As obviously the years come on, it was just part of who I was in my DNA.
How did your passion for sports drive you to want to build a career in sports and content marketing?
It made me think about this question the other day, and Mum always says that as a kid, all I said I wanted to do when I grew up, it was either play AFL, play for Australia, or work in an AFL store. Now the thought of doing that is just crazy. I thought that was always sport. To find a way to bring sport and what I'm good at together is something that I started to look at through 2017, 2018. It was how can I make this work? And I was working at the Bunyip newspaper. I was doing a little podcast or a vidcast on the Barossa footy because I love talking about the Barossa footy. And that idea come from how do we give local clubs the same exposure that AFL get without the cost. Boys Grady and Jack, who I was doing it with, who we had a ball doing it. I'd sort of been into the sales and saw the decline in newspaper advertising and how tough it was. Thought, how do I implement what I've learned here from sales and advertising into being able to build a sports company and do something that I enjoy doing and talking about? And that's when Cotton was have some fun and make a little money on the side, which was all it was meant to do. Pretty quickly it's escalated and turned into something a bit more serious, and we're still here today.
When doing my research, I saw Daniel Menzel was the director of Cotton Media. What made you want to go after him?
When we started this, after about 3 weeks, as I sort of mentioned earlier, it was a bit of a project on the Barossa footy. Lucky enough that Cooper Dahms, who was the marketing manager at Central Districts in the Sandful at the time, he reached out and said, hey, liking this, can we do something with Central? So at that stage, we're like, gee, okay, we're onto something that people want here. We went down and we did a Central show as well. And through that, Troy Menzel had just gone back to Centrals, was keen to get involved. He was studying journalism. At that stage, we're like, you got a bloke that's played AFL footy. We also had Travis Head and Mark Cosgrove involved. That's when things started to really escalate. And at the end of the year, we're doing stuff for the Sandful, and it all spiraled. And then Dan come back to Centrals after getting delisted by Sydney, and just through Troy, obviously hit it off with Dan and got to build a strong relationship with him. We had a lot of fun and we're pretty keen. He's a very good businessman, Dan. He's just finished his MBA. He keeps me on track, which is good, and that's what he reckons his main job is. Again, you get an AFL footballer in who has been through adversity. He's had 4 ACL reconstructions, the first player to come back from. His doco is outstanding about his return. To get a player of that calibre, we're pretty keen to do.
Do you believe local government or the government itself should pump more money into community sports? Probably a priority. What do you think?
A massive priority. We could get the council, find some money to put into some funding for the 3 local sporting clubs because they need it, and it needs to be a priority with council because I think Gawler is a sporting mad community, and we've got 3 clubs with some pretty average facilities who are fighting for every dollar they can get to get an upgrade. I think it's time for Gawler Council to step up.